Hello, Tina Jackson here. I'm the Executive Director for Central Food Network. Recently, we held our EGM, and I had the great privilege of speaking about CFN's impact in 2024. For those of you who weren't able to join us, we thought we would share this video with the community. I want to begin with a note of gratitude for the incredible people who power our organization. Yes, money pays the bills, but it's people who carry the torch, delivering our programs, maintaining the administrative functions, leading us with purpose, and choosing to devote their time, skills, and hard-earned dollars to our mission. We are powered not by the dollars alone, but by people who believe in what we are doing. People who trust that each gift they give, whether it's a bag of groceries, an hour of their time, or a dollar from their wallet, will make a difference. And it did. What a difference we made last year. In 2024, we delivered an impact valued at $1,733,751.76 with less than $300,000 in cash donations. That means that for every dollar entrusted to us, we turned into $5.88 worth of food, home warmth, electricity, meals, financial benefits, and related support. When you consider the budget we are working with, I am truly awestruck by how far we stretched it, and how well. We continue to deliver services and show up in spaces well beyond our weight class, so to speak. In addition to service delivery, 2024 also saw us take on a few additional projects. We dove into the work needed for Food Banks Canada Standards of Excellence. While there is no doubt that the process of accreditation will be challenging, we started it knowing that it aligned with so many of the goals that we had identified in building an agency with a strong foundation and framework. While more is still to be done, I want to acknowledge the efforts by our leadership team of staff and volunteers, including former Standards staff Marina, and our frontline food services volunteers who fearlessly tackled this challenge with positivity and a get-it-done attitude. Last year, we identified as well some safety and efficiency challenges at our hub location, and we set out to obtain funding to address them. We successfully secured grants for necessary upgrades and will soon begin improvements to flooring, shelving, and equipment. We also worked last year to foster better communication throughout our agency by starting monthly food bank team meetings and bi-weekly leadership meetings. Working remotely has both its benefits as well as its challenges, but having times to come together, even if it's just virtually, has strengthened our teams. At the board level last year, we said goodbye to 2 board members, Dennis Moore and Gail Page. We also welcomed Dan Chan. Board members serve a vital role in the governance and function of our agency, a role that comes with a great deal of accountability and requires dedication, sound judgment, a willingness to ask tough questions, and in agencies of our size, to also roll up their sleeves. I'm grateful for all that our board members do, and I'm hopeful that we'll be successful in attracting a full and diverse board complement this year. And speaking of rolling up sleeves, in response to the Ontario Not-for-Profit Corporations Act, or ONCA, the board worked to update our bylaws last year. As many of you know, ONCA came into effect with the intent to modernize the legal framework under which organizations like ours operate. Its intent is to set out clearer rules around governance, transparency, and accountability, and to strengthen public trust in the not-for-profit sector. While there's still some back and forth with the province around language in our revised bylaws, we are nearly at the finish line. We also continue to work on our strategic plan, including fleshing out a more comprehensive fund development plan. And as we continue to make time to work on our foundational stability, our reserves remain sufficient to offer a little bit of protection against fluctuating and uncertain revenues. And we have undertaken planning to further diversify where our money comes from. Receiving a significant portion of our donations in the last 2 months of our fiscal year means that we are just never sure if we are going to meet our financial goals. That makes it incredibly challenging to budget. While we certainly celebrate the success in having a surplus last year, We continue to carefully juggle in terms of having the necessary resources and staffing, planning for future needs, including capital projects, and keeping up with the increasing needs in the community. We made a strategic investment in a part-time contract for a communications staff last year, and we were lucky to hire Kat. We did so believing that strengthening our presence across digital platforms and improving how we share our stories, services, and opportunities, we'd be better positioned to connect with those who need our support, as well as those who want to help. We know that having a skilled and passionate person in that role, in fact, helped to raise awareness, build relationships, and ensure that more people knew how to access help and how to provide it. One of the things I love most about CFN is our abundance mindset, even with few resources. We continue to look for ways to build a longer table, not higher fences. Last year saw us really dig into that. We connected with other food banks to strengthen our joint fundraising capacity. We continued with food distributions to the community and to other groups, both formal and informal. We continued to build collaborative relationships with other agencies, believing that we can be better when we help each other. We will continue that work this year, and I'm excited to see what we will be able to achieve collectively. I'm particularly excited about that because 2024 felt like a pivotal year in our sectors. Food banking started as a grassroots, community-organized response to what was perceived as a temporary emergency during economic recession. After 40+ years, we are more and more looked at as an integral part of the social safety net for Canadians. We are often the first point of contact for community members who may be experiencing financial difficulty for the first time. Many food banks, including CFN, offer services and supports beyond just simply groceries. With more and more people turning to food banks for help, and with continued and competing demands on donors, it feels like there could be a tipping point on the horizon. That could be why Food Banks Canada has launched the accreditation process to ensure that we, as a sector, are ready to respond to growing needs professionally, safely, transparently, and with shared values and ethics, and perhaps to increase our funding eligibility in the long term. And while the food banking sector seemed on the verge of maturing, the energy poverty sector was just being born. After several years of dedicated advocacy, Efficiency Canada, a national organization committed to advancing energy efficiency with a strong focus on energy poverty, celebrated some key wins last year, including a federal commitment of $800 million for energy retrofits targeting low-income households. I was thrilled to attend and speak at Canada's very first Home Energy Justice Conference, hosted by Efficiency Canada. The energy in that room over the 2-day event was incredible, bringing together more than 150 representatives from public, private, and nonprofit sectors. I'm confident that the sector will continue to build on this momentum, and there is great potential for Canada to formally recognize and respond to energy poverty in a more cohesive and coordinated way. Taking a look at our own services, Highlands East Food Hub Manager Ken Mott managed to coordinate the pickup and transport of over 200,000 pounds of bulk food donations last year using the cargo van. In total, we handled 211,319 pounds of rescue food, worth approximately $658,000. This is in addition to food that we purchased for our food banks and other food donations that went to our food banks. Ken made 56 deliveries to other food banks and community groups last year, mostly sharing the food rescue donations, but also exchanging larger food donations from Feed Ontario too. This helped to diversify the food offered at all of our food banks in the region. Our food banks collectively served 560 people over the course of the year, which is 38 more individuals than 2023. Our monthly averages surpassed all other years, with an average of 241 individuals from 103 households served through our food banks every month. Monthly visits were up 33% over just 2 years before. The Community Cooks team of 2 were whipping up frozen prepared meals for distributing for our food banks. Linda and Gail also helped with reducing food waste by basing their recipes on bulk food donations on hand at the hub. With a number of people accessing our services who are homeless or without access or ability to cook for themselves, these meals are not a matter of convenience, but rather truly a link to nourishment. All in all, an astounding 5,209 meals and 1,004 snacks were made and distributed in 2024. We continue to offer a hamper delivery service throughout Eastern Haliburton County. Deliveries from the hub were coordinated by volunteer Karen Evans and supported by delivery volunteers. Cardiff Food Bank Manager Cam McKenzie coordinated and often did the deliveries for Cardiff, supported by Assistant Manager Sandy Kassman and Cardiff volunteers. In total, 170 food hamper deliveries were made last year. We rallied volunteers and support to offer holiday hampers and toys for kids again last December. 151 holiday hampers were distributed between Wilberforce and Cardiff, and parents and caregivers for 139 kids were able to shop for gifts. Our heat bank program was also busy, with 151 households totaling 294 people receiving assistance through our emergency fuel and hydro support program. Staff Rachel Gululi worked magic at creatively problem solving, collaborating with other agencies, juggling and advocating with fuel companies, and if that weren't enough, she also processed 91 Ontario Electricity Support Program applications, linking those 91 households to annual hydro credits totaling over $62,000 annually. All in all, we answered 227 calls for help through our heat bank, and heat bank's firewood delivery volunteers assisted in getting 47 loads of firewood out to households in need. 2024 marked our 5th year hosting the Community Volunteer Income Tax Program, CVITP, and thanks to grants from Food Banks Canada and Canada Revenue Agency, we were able to hire a part-time staff member to coordinate the program. Lindsey took on the role and significantly expanded access across Haliburton County, leading clinics in Minden, Haliburton, and Wilberforce during tax season. 6 dedicated volunteers supported those in-person clinics and continue to offer remote tax filing after the season ended, allowing us to provide year-round tax assistance for residents throughout the county. In total, 341 tax returns were completed for local households. These efforts helped to unlock $881,749 in tax benefits, along with many other supports that rely on up-to-date tax filing. In total, between our heat and food services, our agency responded to 4,787 visits or requests for service and directly helped an estimated 1,323 people. I will note that while there may be some duplication between our programs in that number, it does not include people beyond our clients who access food on our giveaway days. And so I want to end this on another note of gratitude to our board of directors who continue to help guide CFN towards that bright future where everyone in the Highlands has enough to eat and sufficient home energy to live comfortably. You dedicate hours every month in meetings, strategizing and planning, often without fanfare. And every one of our volunteers and staff who work both behind the scenes and on the front lines, who pour everything into doing the best job they can for the community. Thank you for the important work that you do every day to make our community better. And to the people who have supported our efforts with donations, we could not do this work without you. Thank you for believing in us and standing with us to offer help and hope. Onwards we go.